exhibition about?
The exhibition is basically about I'm looking at the urbanscapes,
right.
Especially the inner city, as in Johannesburg. But it's not exclusively Johannesburg, it's also looking at other cities, maybe around the world. I've been very much fascinated in the decay of those spaces, abandoned spaces where you find people inhabiting those spaces and spaces that are not in good conditions for people to live in. So I've been also looking at our heritage sites, buildings, especially in the city that tend to be forgotten and actually, left alone there. So that means our history, it's basically, fading. So my role as an artist and in this actually project, I've been looking at what's happening around the city, looking at people who are actually recycling, for example, and where do they take their stuff, for them to earn cash, So they also have spaces where they stay. It's actually called Mnyamandao. It's places that are very dark, no running electricity and no water, So it's a common term today where people actually talk about how dangerous these spaces are and how dark and, void these spaces are.
So why does the city hold such a special space or place in your heart?
I'm very much from the urban spaces. I was born in Johannesburg. So for me, I feel like I'm part of parcel of what is happening in my city. And yes, as also being in good experiences of traveling, I've seen how other worlds take care of their own heritage, meaning cities that actually are historical and are considered today as one of the most actually spaces that are visited by tourists and all that. We don't have that platform here in the city, especially our CBD, where you find that there's very much interesting things happening there. But it seems like everything is shifted to the north. So we are losing, the essence of what the city of gold used to be, as in Johannesburg.
What is the tone and feel of Construct to Deconstruct?
The tone and feel, it's very playful, It's where you kind of deconstructing, but creatively, So I look at, for an example, if you were to look at a building that's going old and how it starts peeling off, showing you layers and layers of what this building used to be, and the people who lived in these spaces and all the energies and spirits that are actually captured in those walls.
Yeah.
So I'm very much into saying things that are very much non-verbal, but also using it as a metaphor to talk about human life as well,
But what are you trying to say with this exhibition?
This exhibition, it's basically making you aware and showing you things that you don't pay attention to as an ordinary eye. But me as an artist, I was trained to look at things deeply under the surface and kind of engage with such issues about our urban spaces and,
Speak to us a bit about being trained at FUNDA Center. I mean, speaking about being trained there, what were the highlights of being part of that generation of artists that came from FUNDA?
It's very important because FUNDA Center was one of the institutions during apartheid that was created to cater for black people in Soweto. So you've got quite remarkable artists that came out of that institution. For example, the likes of late Prince Kupe, Sibongile Kumalo used to also teach there, Charles Nkosi. FUNDA Center, for me, I believe that it also helped me a lot coming from Soweto, to be able to actually get that opportunity of being able to be privileged as well, to study art, because art was mostly, I would say, a white thing. So it's also about time for us, to really be part of, these schools, learn. And I was quite fortunate. As I was studying at FUNDA, I got a scholarship to go study abroad in Switzerland. So I did my BA in Switzerland, and I also happened to be in France, to to continue my studies. So yeah, it kind of taught me a lot, you know, coming from FUNDA, you know, getting to the world out there, you know.
All right. Happy, thank you so much for talking to us. Artist Happy Dlame is speaking to us about his exhibition titled Construct to Deconstruct, opening at the Johannesburg Art Gallery in Johannesburg tomorrow. The exhibition runs until August this year, and the new works range from paintings to video and site-specific installations. It's titled Construct to Deconstruct. Let's take another break. Stay with us.